White is the beast of fate. Blue is the beast of righteousness. The blue cocoon master.
Wake up! You cried out in your sleep last night. From this day forward, Now, you had better head over to Mother Garai's house. Mabu is probably waiting.
Oh, you finally come by. Soon you will enter the forest as a cocoon. At the forest entrance, there are 4 gates through the door. To pass through them, one of them is here in Cyrus. It is the key to the Beetle Gate. Once you get the key from Louis, you must go deep into the beetle forest. Another cocoon master. People call him the Blue Cocoon Master. His name is called... Finding the calabash herb is important, but first you must... No doubt there is much you can learn from him, for he too. In the meantime, I have gathered what you will need for your... If you need something else, wounds can only be healed by mugwort herbs. Make sure you have... Oh, when your empty cocoons run out, you can get... Oh yes, I almost forgot something. This is the flute of capture. The sound your father Riquette's. A fateful meeting it was. I've already spoken with Louis. Now, from the forest entrance, you will find the divine... I've already spoken...
So now you're going into the forest. I don't know why. But if worse comes to worse, you can always use the earring of the hunter to So I went ahead and married you, huh? You'd better take good care of me now. It feels strange, doesn't it? I guess things are gonna get serious real soon. So now you're going into the forest. But if worse comes to worse, you can always use... Wait a sec. Here. This is a ring given to me by the Nagi chieftain when I was born. I should have given it to you before, but... When I wear this ring, somehow... I hope it helps you too. Well... Oh, it's really not. I'll be thinking about you.
Are you doing all right? Being a cocoon master is tough. I can teach you. You can buy weapons and armor at... You know Kelmar's house, right? He may be a bit gruff, but he... If you are wounded in the forest, there are many different types of items which can... You buy them down at the town shop. And you can get empty cocoons for imprisoning minions from... You cannot buy weapons and supply. That is why you should spin. The thread from white cocoons is very high quality. But once you spin the cocoon, you will lose the magic. Consider that carefully before asking Mabut. Although the forest beasts attack us villagers and they are really just agents of Elrum, the god of the forest. In fact, we have a term of respect for the creatures. People of the village call them abominations, monstrosities. Even our town elders like the venerable Jabara. But they all refer to they say, pure words beget a clean. You should mind your language. Take care. Your father promised me that one day he was the first person to be kind to me.
Huh? What is it? Have you looked at the Kelmar? This is just great. Come back some other time if it's been so long since I made a weapon for a cocoon. But even if you had...
Really, I'm sorry, his hands are skilled, but our son will never find a good They're both so stubborn!
I don't have anything good for you. But you can buy what Don't ever think that you're better just because you bought it. You won't know its true power until you start. The quality of a blade's edge, no matter how dull the blade. More powerful. Maybe I'll have...
As you can see, he has a hard head. If you ever need... By the way, those clothes look... You look just like... You're so different. It drives me crazy. As you can see, he has a heart.
those clothes become you? You look just... This is a tale of the kingdom of Gehenna Parte that stretched across these lands long ago. Once upon a time, Prince Menek, son of King Karus, set out with his vassals to hunt in the forest. But in the forest they were enveloped by a thick fog, and the prince lost his way. Wandering aimlessly about, he happened upon a marsh from which grew an enormous tree. Thereupon he heard the sound of sobbing, but he knew not from where. He found a maiden sitting all alone. She was weeping by the marsh. "I am Alcana. I just buried my mother here in the marsh of Uban," she said. And then she looked up at the prince. He was overwhelmed by her beautiful eyes. The maiden stole his heart that day. It was truly a fateful meeting. Thereafter, the prince made frequent trips into the forest. Undoubtedly, he was paying visits to the maiden. The maiden had a strange power. She could talk to the insects and trees. Before long, there began a terrible rumor that the prince's heart had been stolen by a witch. One day the maiden spun silk from fairy cocoons and wove it into a beautiful cloth for the king. But the brilliance of that cloth cast a shadow upon the kingdom. The king was so enthralled by the fairy silk that he sent his soldiers into the forest, where they ravaged for fairy cocoons. The fairies, still in their cocoons, were boiled alive. The king killed them so he could have their silk. The prince pleaded with his father to stop his cruelty, but the king was no longer the man he had once been. Prince Menek was charged with treason and imprisoned in the king's deepest dungeon. He was never heard from again. When the maiden learned of the prince's death, she cursed her fate and lamented the foolishness of man. She then cast herself away into the marsh where her mother lay. As she started to drown, a voice from nowhere whispered to her, "I am Erlim. I shall grant you your wish. Tell me what you want," said the voice. The maiden told Erlim all that weighed upon her heart. The maiden said, "Greed bears destructive knowledge. Its wicked power shall be the end of the forest. All hope is lost. The beasts of knowledge shall never live in peace with the forest. The one light of hope, who I so loved, has perished at the hands of the beasts. I now go to where my love Menek awaits." Thereupon Erlim spoke again. "So you claim that your true love was torn asunder by the greed and hatred of the beasts of knowledge? When light is swallowed up by darkness, I shall unleash ruin upon the land, returning all to the nothingness from whence it came. I have a firm grip upon the darkness in your heart. From that day forward, demons appeared in the forest, terrifying all they came upon, and the kingdom of Gehenna Parte fell to ruin by the swarms of Onibubu, locusts of apocalypse. The demons that haunt the forest now are the beasts, spawned by the greed in man's heart." Well, that is the end. I know you're busy, but come, I shall all. Ever since yesterday, the forest... Do not go seeking in her. You are our...
with Mother Garice, but I don't like any of it. I mean, you of all, you'll just go into the forest and get eaten. Is your flute really that? Ha! I'll go get the calabash myself.
No can do, little guy. I know how you feel, Louis, but you can't. You can seek your revenge at some other time. Besides, you know how scary the forest is, right? Shouldn't you be talking to Louis rather than me? Shouldn't you be talking...
Fine. Kelmar is right. Here's the beetle key. The chief gave it to me to look after. Use it to enter the beetle gate. The cottage of Master Chorus is deep inside. He's a powerful cocoon master. Now what? Get out! I'll avenge my parents. You still...
Look, try to understand how... Ever since his parents were killed in the forest, all he's ever thought about is... He may be cocky, but in his own way... So, he's now a magnificent... It's all happened so fast. You ever make her cry? Well, better get going and save the village. Look.
Hey, loser! Kelmar was worried, so he asked me to show you the... I feel sorry for you, so I'll lead you there just this once. Okay, this is the divine barrier. Use the beetle key to open the... The beetle gate is the one to the far right. From there on out, it's all...
Who are you? I've seen poachers who impersonate cocoon masters. If you are a real cocoon master, show me by playing that flute. I know that tune. Are you? If the son of Riquettes has been sent into the forest, then tell me what has happened. I see. So the only... And you came to search for the... But your flute playing... Your father would never forgive me if I just let you go in. I am Chorus, the Blue Cocoon Master. On behalf of my comrade... The minions of the forest are full of melancholy and are thus feral. It is our task to capture them, but first, it is for this purpose only that... Let's have you learn the basics by actually fighting a minion. Have you any mugwort herb? For after a fight, wounds and exhaustion must... Here we go.
sound of your flute shall soothe the minions' souls. Let's have you learn the basics by fighting a minion. Here we go. Well, that's it, more or less. Your success with capturing depends on your skill with the... And the only way to improve is to imprison as many minions. You won this time because I used a weakness. In reality, you won't have it so easy. Train hard. And you can only carry so many empty cocoons with you. Each time a capture fails, you lose one. It would be wise to return to the village if you run out. The minion you just captured is my gift. However, it is useless until it is purified. Simply trapping a minion in a cocoon will not soothe its spirit. It requires purification. If you are a cocoon master, you must have taken a Nagi woman. Have your wife purify a firefly cocoon. It will then become a white cocoon. Once it becomes a white cocoon, you can summon the minion into battle. We are called cocoon masters because we have the power to summon magical. In order to beckon these minions, we must translocate our earthly vessels, mesmerized by the sound of the flute. After all, that means we must fight minion with me. However, you may only take 3. Each minion possesses one of 4 distinct elemental properties. Earth repels water. Water extinguishes fire. Fire eliminates air. And wind. Know your opponent and develop. Magic beasts gain strength through victory in battle. And by merging different beasts together, they will be. Try it once you have obtained them. Your wife shall merge them. Be warned that while merging does pass on characteristics of both, elemental properties and special abilities can either be strengthened. For this is the one thing I cannot teach you.